Good evening, all. This is SIJC Biology lecture. We are in number 2. Name of the chapter is Reproduction in Higher Animals. We are in part 6 of this chapter. I am Professor Prasad Tamankar. In the last session, we have understood embryology basically. Okay, we started with end of cleavage, that was beginning of the blastulation. So blastulation we studied is a process of conversion of morula to blastula. Hollow ball like structure of mass of cells is developed, consisting of two types of cells, outer mass and inner mass of cells. Then it undergoes implantation. We studied also the importance of implantation. Due to implantation, what happens is the corpus luteum will be maintained under influence of a new hormone that is given by implanted embryo. Hormone का नाम है human chorionic gonadotropin. So this HCG will maintain the corpus luteum in absence of LH, because as per the female's reproductive cycle, LH is going to decrease, and that will be maintained by what I said is HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin hormone. So remember, these are the basic things. Then gastrulation, we studied different changes occurred in gastrulation, formation of endoderm, then remaining cells of inner mass type get converted into columnar type, become ectoderm. So due to this, there is a formation of new cavity towards animal pole end called as amniotic cavity. Okay, so at this particular time, there is a double layered or two layered embryo available. This is called as germinal disc. Then there will be overgrowth, which is called as epiboly. Epiboly में क्या हुआ था कि amniotic cells or trophoblast cells grow over ectoderm. At the same time, the endoderm grows over trophoblast cells. So amniotic cavity is enclosed by trophoblast cells, whereas the blastocele will be covered by endodermal cells. So now the blastocele will be called as embryo sac, and then primary yolk sac, rather we can say. This primary yolk sac, this entire process is called as overgrowth. Then there is formation of extraembryonic mesoderm. Then afterwards there will be formation of primitive streak and even the precaudal plate. Precaudal plate marks the beginning of mesoderm between the two existing layers. So ectodermal cells at the center, they will start dividing and form a new additional layer that is called as mesodermal cells. And then the layers will become continuous, that is gastrulation. Then we started what is meaning of parturition. Is it? No, we studied what is pregnancy. So pregnancy क्या है हम लोगों ने देखा. Pregnancy, when it starts, that we understood, pregnancy starts immediately at the time of fertilization or immediately after fertilization, but it will be symbolized due to missing of periods. जो अगले आने वाले periods से miss हो जाएंगे. You know the reason? Because corpus luteum is maintained, though the level of LH decreases, corpus luteum is maintained, so corpus luteum will keep on secreting progesterone. Progesterone will maintain endometrium. As endometrium is retained, there is no menstruation, so periods are missed. That is what the result of implantation and will mark the pregnancy. Okay, but one should go for testing and confirmation of pregnancy. For confirmation of pregnancy, one requires fresh urine to be delivered to laboratory for testing purpose, and when it is confirmed, means when it is seen that urine consists of human chorionic gonadotropin hormone, that marks or that confirms the pregnancy is there. Pregnancy period we studied, it is of around 280 days. So 3 stages of pregnancy we understood. Each stage is called as, or each group is called as trimester. Group of 3 months will be called as trimester. So 3 trimesters are there: first trimester, second trimester, and third trimester. So all the trimesters we understood. Okay, so that was what we studied in the last session. Now we have to continue with the next thing, and that next thing will be placenta. So first we have to understand pregnancy, जो हम लोगों ने कर दिया, बाद में placenta, बाद में parturition करेंगे, and then lactation. These are the 4 important topics. Okay, so what is placenta? Placenta, actually we can say it is a plug, or it is a connection between the 2 different organs. One organ is endometrium of uterus, that is part of female reproductive system, and second part is nothing but the umbilical cords that are given by chorion. Okay, so so it is a connection between endometrium and villi, chorionic villi that are given by chorion. Will be continuing as umbilical cord then. So these 2 things, when get connected to each other, that will be considered as placenta. Okay, placenta, when it is completely developed, it is circular disc-like structure, quite thick, around 4 centimeters in thick and 18 centimeters to 20 centimeters in diameter. Okay, then it is hemocorial type of organ. Hemocorial because it is formed from that of chorion layer. That's what it's called as hemocorial. I gave you the dimensions. It is when completely developed, around 20 centimeters will be the diameter and 3 to 4 centimeters in thickness and weighing around 300 to 500 grams. मतलब आधे किलो जितना उसका खुद का weight होता है. Okay. At the time of implantation, the placenta will start forming. You must remember that the uh, outermost cells, which are present in the lining of animal pole end, have ability to cling and proliferate. So due to proliferation, they will form two different types of cells. Syncytio, याद है ना? Syncytio, what we can say, cells are formed and cytological cells are formed. Syncytiotropoblast cells and cytotrophoblast cells. Syncytiotropoblast cells will form finger-like projections that are called as villi, and they will get embedded into the endometrium. This marks the initiation of placenta or formation of placenta. Then slowly, the placenta will start developing, and within first trimester, means within first 3 months of pregnancy, placenta will be developed completely. Okay, it will act as a temporary endocrine gland. What does it mean? Endocrine gland, glands which give their secretions directly into blood, not into the ducts and at a proper place. So such kind of glands are called as endocrine glands. Why it is called as temporary endocrine gland? It will be formed at the time of implantation, will remain till childbirth, and after childbirth the placenta also is removed from the body of female, and so it is a temporary gland. For next baby, मतलब अगर दूसरी बार female pregnant हो जाती है, so for next baby a new placenta will be formed from the syncytiotropoblast cells of the new embryo. ठीक है, तो हर एक embryo, हर एक baby अपना खुद का placenta खुद बना लेता है. After the birth of baby, the placenta also is removed from the body or removed from the uterus. So that's how it is considered as a temporary gland, endocrine gland, because it gives secretion directly into blood. It is responsible for supply of nourishment. So nutrients from the female body would be given to the baby. Even there will be exchange of oxygen from mother's body to the child's body, and reverse way there will be transport of carbon dioxide and removal of waste products. So all these substances, they will move across the placenta. This movement of chemicals or movement of substances across placenta or movement of anything across the placenta will be called as transplacental transfer. Remember this word, transplacental transfer. तो इस तरह से ये placenta मदद करेगा, काम करेगा. That is essential property of it. Now placenta will be formed from both the sides. Both the sides का मतलब क्या है? Both the parties will be having equal contribution. Okay, part of placenta will be formed from mother. It will be called as maternal placenta, and part of placenta will be formed from embryo, developing embryo, or from fetus. That will be called as chorionic placenta, because chorion layer जो है वो involve करेगा. So there are two participants in the formation of placenta. Maternal placenta actually is formed by the endometrial wall. Okay, endometrium, you must know by this time, is very highly vascular. It is having rich glands. Mucous glands are present. It is very soft, smooth, and very much moist also. Okay. And fetal placenta or chorionic placenta is a part of placenta which is developed from the chorionic villi of embryo, developing embryo. ये दो parts उसके होते हैं. It will give umbilical cord. Okay. So initially the finger-like projections are formed, but then when a disc is developed properly, a small tube-like structure, which is called as umbilical cord will be developed. Okay, it's a kind of umbilical cord which will be consisting of arteries and veins. Umbilical arteries and umbilical veins will be available. Two small arteries will be there and one large umbilical vein will be there. This particular placenta will be responsible for secretion of different hormones. Okay, in the initial stages of development, up to 3 months, it will keep on secreting hormone, that is HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin. You know the role of this hormone. This hormone is responsible for taking over a control of corpus luteum. तो जो corpus luteum पहले LH के कंट्रोल में था, अभी ये HCG के कंट्रोल में आता है. And so corpus luteum is maintained for 3 months or up to 3 months of pregnancy, and it will be forced to secrete progesterone hormone. So progesterone को secrete करने के लिए उसको मजबूर किया जाता है. But slowly, after 3 months, the function of secretion of progesterone will be taken over by placenta itself. So progesterone will be then given by placenta instead of corpus luteum. Okay, so that is another characteristic feature. It is also responsible for secreting certain hormones like estrogen. Estrogen will be to maintain the endometrial lining thick. Estrogen and progesterone, both hormones are responsible for maintaining endometrial lining thick, because endometrium, if remains thick and proper, it will be capable of nourishing the baby properly. Okay, otherwise it is not possible. So these functions are important. Just try to look at this particular figure so that you'll understand what is placenta. So if you take into consideration, this entire structure is placenta made up of chorion. You could see this kind of structure. Here it is written umbilical blood vessels in umbilical cord. Okay, this is allantois or yolk sac, actually speaking. And then see the network of blood vessels. They are present in the villi. Okay, so maternal blood vessels are there here, and then there will be chorionic villi available. Chorionic villi will be having the blood vessels of embryo. As I told you last time, the maternal blood will never mix into child's blood or fetus's blood. Two reasons I told you. One reason, the heart is powerful, mother's heart is powerful as compared to the baby. So blood vessels of fetus may get ruptured unnecessarily. Second thing, there may be a difference in the blood groups of mother and child. ऐसा हमेशा नहीं होना ये होगा कि मम्मी का ब्लड ग्रुप बच्चे के ब्लड ग्रुप से मैच हो रहा है. If the blood groups are different, then unnecessarily there will be a trouble to both of them. Okay, or might be to one of them. ठीक है, due to mixing of blood groups of non-matching type or non-compatible type. तो इसीलिए बच्चे का खून और मम्मी का खून कभी भी मिक्स नहीं होगा. They will come close to each other, as you could see over here, and that will lead to exchange of materials within the two. So is the characteristic feature. Here is another view, so as to understand what does it mean, the placenta किस तरह से होता है, उसको समझने के लिए एक और व्यू है. देखो यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है placenta. So this entire structure is placenta. Okay, you could see the chorionic villi. Then deciduo basalis. These are the small structures, and this is the decidua capsularis. कैप्सूल बन जाता है और बेसिलरिस मतलब बेस बन जाता है. सो ये यूट्रस के अंदर जहां पे बच्चे का इम्प्लांटेशन होगा वहां पे ये प्लेसेंटा तैयार होगा. द मैग्निफाइड व्यू विल बी गिविंग यू दिस एंटायर आइडिया. लुक एट दिस पर्टिकुलर लेयर विल बी नेम्ड एज मायोमेट्रियम. इट इज द मस्कुलर लेयर. उसके बाहर वाला लेयर क्या होता है? पेरीमेट्रियम. पेरीमेट्रियम यहाँ पे नहीं दिखाया है. ओके, देन देयर इज अ स्मॉल लेयर दैट इज कॉल्ड एज स्ट्रैटम बैसिलस ऑफ एंडोमेट्रियम. सो एंडोमेट्रियम का लेयर है ये, एंड दिस एंटायर थिंग विल बी एंडोमेट्रियम, which will be having maternal portion of placenta, that is deciduo bacillus. Okay, usko deciduo bacillus कहेंगे. So that is the first layer available. Now this portion will be considered as, ये portion जो है, it will be considered as fetal portion of placenta or chorionic villi. Okay, chorionic villi will be having a network, profound network of blood vessels through it. As you could see, this is a artery and a vein. Okay. Now, what is happening? Mother's myometrium and endometrium, they will be receiving blood supply, maternal blood supply. ये maternal blood supply है. This maternal blood supply will pour the blood into this region. Okay, these regions are called as sinusoids. Okay, or maternal blood in lacuna, that is intervillous space. villi की इसमें जो space है उसको कहेंगे sinusoids, also कह सकते हैं उसको. So within the deciduo bacillus, blood will be poured, actually speaking, and child's blood or fetus's blood will be having blood vessel networks very close to it, and so there will be exchange taking place between the two bloods by either osmosis or by ion exchange method or by even some other mechanisms. Okay, so by even spreading. Even spreading को क्या कहते हैं हम लोग? So this is how the exchange of materials will take place. तो इस तरह से प्लासेंटा हो सकता है. So that is idea about it. Now we have to go for understanding next thing. What is meaning of parturition? Parturition का मतलब होता है childbirth. We can call it as delivery or birth of baby, है ना? या फिर labor कह सकते हैं. So it's a process of giving birth to baby or process of expelling baby out from uterus. expelling of matured or we can say fully developed baby out from uterus. अभी fully developed का मतलब क्या है? यूटरस के अंदर जितना स्पेस है उतना ही डेवलपमेंट बेबी का हो सकता है. Once that is done, the baby will be expelled out. This process actually is called as parturition or childbirth. Scientific words में उसको हम लोग parturition कहेंगे. There are physical activities involved because it is a musculature or we can say muscular movement of uterus responsible for pushing the baby's body out. Okay, and that's what is called as labor. And the discomfort or paining that is done or developed during this particular entire event of childbirth will be called as labor pain. So labor pain or labor, इसको बराबर जान लो, labor का मतलब बच्चे को पैदा करना. So मैटरनिटी हॉस्पिटल्स में जहाँ पे लेबर रूम लिखा रहेगा वहां पे अंदर एंट्री नहीं करना चाहिए, because might be possible that some pregnant women are giving birth to babies over there. So one should not go and peep into it. Okay, this very well. Then it will be important event, and this important event is considered as neuroendocrine interaction or neuroendocrine display. Okay, एक fantastic mechanism है, fantastic mechanism of feedback mechanism of different hormones, and these hormones are responsible for initiating the childbirth. ये कैसे होता है? Now check out very clearly the first signal. You might be knowing, you might be supposing that the signal will be given by mother. No, it's not like. The first signal for birth will be given by the child itself. Okay, baby which is developing in uterus has got very well developed organs, so has a special kind of gland present, developed just below the brain, that is called as pituitary gland. This pituitary gland of a child or fetus, let us say, would be child, but fetus will be giving a hormone. That hormone is called as ACTH, stands for adrenocorticotropic hormone. Just try to look at this word. It is ACTH, standing adrenocorticotropic hormone. क्या मतलब है इस हार्मोन का? This hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, will be a hormone given by pituitary gland of fetus and will affect on adrenal cortex of fetus. तो जैसे बेबी का बॉडी पूरा डेवलप हो चुका है, fetus पूरा डेवलप हो चुका है, उसके अंदर सभी ग्लैंड्स अवेलेबल है, पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड डेवलप हो चुका है, और किडनीज के ऊपर दो छोटे छोटे ग्लैंड्स तैयार हुए हैं, उनको कहते हैं एड्रिनल ग्लैंड्स. These adrenal glands have got two parts. Outer portion is called as cortex, inner part is called as medulla. So this hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, is responsible for affecting on adrenal cortex. Adrenal gland का जो बाहर वाला पार्ट है उसके ऊपर ये लोग क्या करेंगे, एक्ट करेंगे, ये हार्मोन एक्ट करेगा. That's how adrenal cortex, in response to this hormone ACTH, will start producing corticoids. Okay, corticoid hormones are important, and these hormones are essential. Actually, there are two types of hormones: glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids. These corticoids will be responsible for what we can say performance, actually, for a particular individual. ठीक है, ये हम लोग बाद में देखने वाले हैं, जब एंडोक्राइन सिस्टम करेंगे तभी देखेंगे उसके प्रॉपर्टीज क्या है. Right now we are not going to go for it. So it's a characteristic feature we should know. So cortex will start giving hormones. Those hormones are called as corticoids. Okay, these corticoids secreted by fetus body will be then delivered into mother's body through placenta. Okay, and they will start accumulating in mother's body. So this is a signal given by child or by fetus to the mother's body that the time for parturition has come. So I repeat, क्या क्या events थे? तो pituitary gland of baby or fetus, let us use this word child, baby or fetus, एक ही हुआ. So pituitary gland of fetus will give hormone ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone. This ACTH hormone will affect on adrenal cortex of baby, child, fetus. Okay, in response, the adrenal cortex of fetus will start secreting corticoids type of hormones or corticoid type of hormones. These hormones will cross placenta and will enter into the body of mother and will start accumulating over there. When the level of these hormones or when the level of hormones of corticoid hormone type is very much increased, it will start giving a signal, further signal. Increased level of corticoids in mother's body will give signal to the pituitary gland of mother, as a result of which pituitary gland of mother will get activated and will start secreting oxytocin hormones from mother body. At the same time, some other hormones like estrogen, etc., will be secreted. So this is the entire play that is important, and all these hormones are responsible for carrying out childbirth. Okay, so यहाँ पे आप लोग देख सकते हो कि hypothalamus मतलब part of brain will be there. Then corticotropic hormone, corticotropic releasing hormones are given by it or will be affecting on it. As a result of which, adrenocorticotropic hormones will be given. It will be fetal adrenal gland, उसके ऊपर ये काम करेंगे. Then it will cross the placenta. Okay, and as I told you, glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids, and they will start secreting, means get accumulated in mother's body, and they will make mother body to start secreting estrogen. Level will be increased, progesterone level will decrease, and then there will be prostaglandin level of F2 alpha hormone will increase. Okay, ये एक इंटरप्ले हुआ. अभी एक्चुअली मदर्स बॉडी में क्या होता है? There will be a start. Estrogen will be given from placenta. This will be affecting on inducing oxytocin receptors on uterus. You must know that uterus will be having certain receptors which will respond to oxytocin hormone given by mother's body. तो यहाँ पे क्या है? एस्ट्रोजन की वजह से अभी यहाँ ये आधा पार्ट आपको समझ में आया, ठीक है, कि बच्चे का जो पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड है उसने हार्मोन दिया ACTH, तो एड्रेनल ग्लैंड के ऊपर असर किया. देन इसने कॉर्टिकॉइड्स दिया. कॉर्टिकॉइड्स विल स्टार्ट ट्रांसप्लासेंटल ट्रांसफर, विल एंटर इन मदर्स बॉडी. इट विल अफेक्ट ऑन प्लासेंटा. प्लासेंटा में काम करने से क्या हो जाएगा? इट विल इंक्रीज द लेवल ऑफ एस्ट्रोजन, डिक्रीज द लेवल ऑफ प्रोजेस्टेरोन एंड इंक्रीज द लेवल ऑफ प्रोस्टाग्लैंडिन. ये इंक्रीज क्यों है वो मैं बाद में बताऊंगा, ठीक है, उसके कुछ रीजंस है. देन सेकेंड पार्ट विल अफेक्ट इन मींस एक्ट इन मदर्स बॉडी. ओके, सो estrogen from placenta will be affecting on uterus of mother, as a result of which the receptors present on uterus for receiving oxytocin hormone. See, this is all hormonal interplay. Unless and until hormone is secreted or not secreted, it will not work. So the receptors will get activated. Okay, now what happens in this case? So oxytocin will be given by pituitary gland of mother. It will stimulate the uterus to contract. ऑक्सीटोसिन जैसे ही मदर के बॉडी में से प्रोस्टाग्लैंडिन का काम है ये, और सभी हार्मोन्स का काम है. ऑल दिस कॉर्टिकॉइड्स व्हेन गेट एक्युमुलेटेड इन मदर्स बॉडी, मदर्स पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड विल स्टार्ट सेक्रेटिंग ऑक्सीटोसिन. ऑक्सीटोसिन विल बी गिवन बाय फ्रॉम fetus and mother's posterior pituitary gland. It will stimulate the uterus to contract, मतलब uterine contraction चालू हो जाएगा. Even it will stimulate placenta to release hormones like prostaglandins. Prostaglandins will be responsible for stimulating more vigorous contraction of uterus. Prostaglandin का काम क्या है कि जो यूटरस के कॉन्ट्रैक्शंस है उसको स्ट्रांग बनाए. ओके, क्योंकि जब तक यूटरस का कॉन्ट्रैक्शंस फोर्सफुली नहीं होता तब तक बेबी बाहर पुश नहीं किया जाएगा. सो ऑक्सीटोसिन, prostaglandins will be there. This increased level of prostaglandin will feed back onto placenta to release more prostaglandin. It will have a positive feedback on pituitary gland to secrete more amount of oxytocin. समझ में आया? तो एक फास्ट रिपीट कर देते हैं. Pituitary gland of fetus releases ACTH. ACTH affects on adrenal cortex. Adrenal cortex of fetus will secrete corticoids. Corticoids will be trying to cross the placental borders, as well as they will affect on placenta also. Whenever they affect on placenta, placenta will start increase in estrogen hormone, it will start decrease in progesterone, and it will start increase in prostaglandin hormones. These hormones, when enter in the body of mother along with the corticoids, the pituitary gland of mother now will get activated and will start secreting oxytocin along with the pituitary gland of fetus also. Okay, estrogen from placenta will make the make the receivers of oxytocin on uterus active. Okay, oxytocin that is delivered by mother's body, mother's pituitary gland, will start contraction of uterus. This will give a stimulus to placenta so as to secrete more amount of prostaglandins, and prostaglandins are responsible for forceful contraction of uterus. Of course, oxytocin के बिना ये नहीं होगा, लेकिन oxytocin and prostaglandins together will be responsible for forceful contraction of uterus. and then it will have a loop. More the amount of prostaglandin secreted, more placenta will be excited, means placenta will be excited more, and so it will start secreting more amount of prostaglandin. This process will continue till childbirth. Okay, it will have a positive feedback mechanism onto pituitary gland also. Okay, prostaglandins will also have stimulus to pituitary gland so as to release more amount of oxygen, so that uterus will start contracting faster. See, faster contractions and forceful contractions are different. फास्टर का मतलब क्या है, जैसे ही ऑक्सीटोसिन लेवल बढ़ जाता है तो एक कॉन्ट्रैक्शन का वेव तैयार हो जाएगा यूट्रस के ऊपर. ओके, सो दिस इज अ फर्स्ट साइन दैट बेबी इज टू बी बॉर्न. ओके, कुछ देर के बाद और एक वेव तैयार हो जाएगा. सो ड्यूरेशन बिटवीन द टू वेव्स विल बी कंट्रोल्ड बाय ऑक्सीटोसिन. Okay, duration between the two waves. So if oxytocin level will go on increasing, the contraction waves or uterine contraction waves will become more and more faster. फटाफट waves आते जाएंगे, so that uterus will start contracting repetitively. Contraction and relaxations of course will be there. Prostaglandin का काम क्या है? Uterus अगर slowly contract होता है, means less force will be there. Then it's of no use. Baby's body will not be pushed out in a proper time, and that's how to make the force. Prostaglandin will be responsible. So prostaglandin will carry out forceful contractions, and oxytocin is responsible for repetitive contractions, so that the duration between the two contractions will be decreased. This is how the initiation will be there, or beginning will be there. Now, as the hormones start being secreted, increased level of corticoids, ये अभी सब हम लोगों ने कर दिया है, तो just will go through it, read it and forget it. Mother's body will stimulate pituitary to release oxytocin level. Oxytocin increase हो जाएगा. Mild contraction of uterus and placenta increases estrogen and progesterone ratio. Estrogen को बढ़ाना है, progesterone को कम करना है. अभी progesterone को कम क्यों करना है? Because when progesterone level decreases, the blood vessels will be cut off. Other we can say blood vessels will be made to contract, because now at the time of childbirth, the entire endometrium is going to get washed off, eroded. So when endometrium will get eroded, there should not be excessive loss of blood. Okay, so for that purpose, increased level of estrogen and decreased level of progesterone will make the event, that is closing down blood supply to uterus by contracting blood vessels supplying blood to uterus. So uterus का blood supply कम हो जाएगा थोड़ा सा. Okay, that's an idea over here. High level of oxytocin will be there, secreted to start vigorous uterine contraction that will lead to childbirth. Okay, now childbirth is completed in 3 stages. 3 stages में birth पूरा हो जाएगा. जैसे कि first stage will be important, that is called as expulsion phase. Second is called as placental phase, and first phase will be dilation phase, then expulsion phase and placental phase. Okay, so that is how we can say. तो ये प्रिपरेटरी फेज यहाँ पे मैंने दिखा दिया है. दिस इज द ऑनसेट ऑफ लेबर. ऑनसेट ऑफ लेबर का मतलब क्या हुआ कि बेबी बर्थ के लिए तैयार है. देयर विल बी अ टॉर्शन आल्सो. यू कुड सी दिस इज बेबी ग्रोइंग इन यूटेरस. दिस स्मॉल पोर्शन will be actually cervix, and here this is a canal through which baby has to come out. Okay, so this is how the 3 things are to be considered. First phase is called as dilation phase. What does it mean, dilation phase? Dilation का मतलब क्या है कि जो vagina है या vaginal tube है, and even the opening of vagina to exterior, even the cervix, all this is closed, or we can say it is narrow. So with the vigorous contraction of uterus, there will be dilation of this particular parts. So cervix will start dilating. At the same time, the vagina will start dilating, as a result of which baby will try to pass through it. Okay, this stage lasts for around 24 hours, 12 to 24 hours. Okay, uterine contraction will start under influence of oxytocin, as a result of which what will happen? The baby undergoes torsion. Initially, the baby's head and mother's head are in the same direction. अपना हेड ऐसे है ना, तो बेबी का हेड भी ऐसे ही होगा, हाथ थोड़े से लपेटे हुए, पैर भी ऐसे लपेटे हुए. जस्ट बिफोर बर्थ और जस्ट प्रायर टू बर्थ, बेबी विल अंडरगो टॉर्शन, मतलब ये पूरा उल्टा घूम जाएगा, so that the head will be down, and now the head will come out first. Okay, in most of the cases, babies are born by head out first. very few cases are there in which the legs out first births are also there. पैर पहले बाहर आके बच्चे का बर्थ हो सकता है, ये रेयर केसेस है बट पॉसिबल है. Okay, so head will be facing towards the cervix. At the same time, the reflux will make the uterine contraction stronger. तो यूट्रस के कॉन्ट्रैक्शन भी थोड़े से स्ट्रांग हो जाएंगे, बेबी पूरा उल्टा घूम रहा है. एंड नाउ सर्विक्स एंड वजाइना विल हैव टू डायलेट. डायलेट मतलब थोड़ा सा उसका लूज होके, मसल्स है तो मसल्स लूज होके ये एक्सपांड होना शुरू हो जाएगा. दैट हैज टू गेट एक्सपांडेड अप टू 18 to 20 centimeter so that enough space will be created for baby to pass. So this is a flexion which is done. Baby has turned upside down and now ready to be born. Now as baby moves ahead, the amniotic membrane, I told you there are 3 layers available: amnion, chorion and allantois. Baby is enclosed in amniotic cavity or amniotic sac. This amniotic sac is consisting of amniotic fluid. So as baby is turned upside down and starts moving ahead due to vigorous contractions of uterus, the amniotic sac will get ruptured and amniotic fluid will start coming out of it. This amniotic fluid will be made to pass out through cervix and to vagina. This marks that baby is to be born. लेबर पेन हो रहा है, ठीक है, अलग बात है, लेकिन डॉक्टर्स को, नर्सेस को कैसे समझेगा कि अभी बेबी बर्थ होने वाला है, बच्चा पैदा होने वाला है, कैसे समझेगा? So it is that time when baby ruptures the amniotic sac and amniotic fluid will come out of amniotic sac, and then at that particular time it will be seen coming out from the body through vaginal opening. Okay, this amniotic fluid will make the entire birth canal matlab cervix as well as vagina somewhat lubricated so that there will be ease in baby's birth. Okay, so this is how we can say the birth will start. Okay, amniotic fluid का function भी मैंने बता दिया, it will be responsible for lubrication. Now you could see over here the mouth of uterus. This was the mouth of uterus. Okay, it has got dilated. This portion was vagina. It has also got dilated to its maximum. The pubic symphysis will become loose at this particular time. What is pubic symphysis? The junction of 2 pubic bones will become loose and now baby will start moving ahead. Okay, so this was the first stage. Second phase will be called as expulsion phase. Pehla tha dilation phase. Second phase is called as expulsion phase. Now the baby's body will be given out completely. This phase may last for 20 minutes to 45 minutes. तो अगले 20 मिनट से 45 मिनट में बेबी का बॉडी पूरा बाहर आना जरूरी बनता है. So baby's body will be expelled out or pushed out from mother's body, that is through cervix and vagina to exterior. Okay, uterine and abdominal contractions would be responsible for this process of expulsion. Okay, now slowly baby's body will be given out, and initially the head will come out through vaginal opening. So that will be the sign. जब head दिखता है तो doctors and nurses can assist to pull the baby's body very slowly or gently. Okay, so sometimes clamps are applied so as to pull the baby's body out. Everything is safe mechanism, no problem actually, don't get worried about it. Okay, so that is important. Now baby's body is out completely, but still there is a cord connected from navel region to the placenta. Okay, now it is time to separate the baby's body from the placenta. So जैसे ही हेड बाहर दिखेगा तो उसको पकड़ के थोड़ा सा बाहर खींचने के लिए मदद कर सकते हैं डॉक्टर्स और नर्सेस. कभी कभी क्लैम्प्स लगाए जाते हैं बच्चे को खींचने के लिए, ठीक है, बट व्हेनेवर दे आर नेसेसरी. आजकल क्लैम्प्स नहीं यूज करते, आजकल सकर्स यूज करते हैं. ओके, सक्शन फोर्स इज यूज्ड टू पुल द बेबीज बॉडी आउट. ओके, सो मैकेनिज्म डेवलप्स हो चुके हैं, साइंस हैज बिकम एडवांस्ड. नाउ बेबीज बॉडी जब बाहर आ जाएगा तो अम्बिलिकल कॉर्ड के ऊपर 2 क्लैम्प फिक्स किए जाएंगे. One clamp will be fixed very close to the body and keeping a safe distance of around, we can say, 5 to 6 inches. Another clamp is put on umbilical cord so that the supply between the umbilical cord, placenta and baby will stop. There will not be bleeding, and between the 2 clamps the placenta will be cut so that baby will be separated from mother's body completely. Okay, सो जब ये बेबी का बॉडी अलग कर दिया जाएगा, then baby's body will be washed properly with the help of lukewarm water. Oil will be applied and will be covered in uh, mostly cotton cloth immediately, so as to make it secure, insecure. Okay, baby must cry immediately. Now this cry is essential. Why? Because whenever baby cries, it will be the lungs that they are going to get, we can say, inflated. जैसे ही बेबी का बॉडी बाहर आ जाएगा, सो एयर फ्रॉम एटमॉस्फेयर विल गेट इनटू द लंग्स एंड दैट विल स्टार्ट द रेस्पिरेटरी साइकिल. लेकिन जैसे कि बॉडी का बेबी का बॉडी अंदर है, यूट्रस के अंदर होता है, इट मे बी फिल्ड विद सम म्यूकस मटेरियल और सम अनवांटेड यूट्राइन फ्लूइड या अम्बिलिकल कॉर्ड फ्लूइड, ये सब मिक्स होगा होगा उसके साथ. ओके, सो to expel all these things out, the baby must cry. So when baby cries, the pumping action of lungs will make the entire nasal passage and mouth passage, that is buccal passage, clean. Okay, तो ये सब होना जरूरी है. अगर बच्चा नहीं रोएगा तो उसको जबरदस्ती रुलाया जाता है. Reason is to make the nasal passage and buccal passage clean. आजकल सक्शंस अवेलेबल है, तो थोड़ा सा सक्शन यूज करके अगर कुछ चॉकअप हुआ है थ्रोट रीजन वगैरह, तो उसमें से मटेरियल साफ किया जाता है. ओके, देन बेबी इज मेड सिक्योर्ड, बेबी इज केप्ट सेपरेट. स्टिल वन मोर स्टेज इज टू गो, व्हिच इज कॉल्ड एज प्लेसेंटल स्टेज. बच्चे का बॉडी बाहर आ चुका है, बट स्टिल प्लेसेंटा इज देयर इनसाइड. नाउ हाउ दैट विल बी गिवन आउट? ओके, एक्चुअली बेबी का बर्थ तो हो चुका है, बट दिस इज आफ्टर बर्थ इफेक्ट्स. ओके, एंड दिस फेज also even will last for around 20 to 45 minutes. After expulsion of baby's body out, the uterus will start undergoing still vigorous type of contractions. At this particular time, the placenta will separate from the endometrium under the influence of hormones, that is progesterone. I told you, when progesterone level decreases, the endometrium will start eroding, and when endometrium starts eroding, naturally the placenta which was plugged in now will get separated. Okay, so that separation of placenta will be there. Increased estrogen contraction will be responsible for contracting blood vessels. Blood vessels ये पहले मैंने explain किया था तुम्हें, जैसे कि blood vessels contract हो जाएंगे, so there will not be excessive loss of blood or limited loss of blood will be there. Blood loss तो होने वाला है, जैसे menstruation के वक्त blood loss होता है वैसे यहाँ पे भी होगा, possible है, थोड़ा ज्यादा हो सकता है, but it will be kept under control. Okay, now uterus will undergo severe contractions so as to expel the entire dirt out. अभी जो अंदर है उसको हम लोग dirty कहेंगे, because ये अभी कुछ काम का नहीं रहा, उसका काम हो चुका है. So entire chorionic villi, placenta और umbilical cord का part जो भी अंदर बचा हुआ है, that entire thing will be given out, and within due course the uterus will try to attain the normal morphology. Normal morphology मतलब वो अपना shape जो है normal करना चाहेगा. Now see, you could see this is the placenta which is getting separated from the walls of uterus. This is wall of uterus and this is umbilical cord, so it has to come out. So whenever this umbilical cord along with placenta comes out, it is said that the birth is complete. Okay, so these three phases are important. अब ये तीनों phases एक साथ आपको नहीं पूछेंगे एग्जाम में. They may ask explain dilation phase, या explain placental phase, या explain expulsion phase. Okay, तो इस तरह से क्वेश्चन इसके ऊपर आ सकते हैं. Now after baby's birth, there will be a lactation process starting. What is lactation? Release of milk from mammary glands will be called as lactation. See what is given definition. Release of milk from mammary glands means milk is there, but it is not released till baby's birth. It will be released only after baby's birth. So if you remember, we had said earlier three things. Development of mammary glands will take place at the time of puberty under influence of female sex hormones. देखो ये तीनों चीजें अपने को MCQ से पूछी जा सकती है. So development of mammary glands will be done under influence of estrogen and progesterone hormones during puberty, and the structure will be maintained in the due course of life. Okay, then secondly, production of milk will start in the third trimester of pregnancy under influence of a new hormone, that is prolactin. Okay, so that is another thing. Milk will be ready, milk will be produced in the mammary glands but it will not be released out. उसको बाहर रिलीज करने के लिए एक और हार्मोन की जरूरत है, and that hormone is oxytocin hormone. Yes, the same hormone which is responsible for contraction of uterus. Okay, so milk production will be taking place under influence of prolactin. That's what I told you. Increased level of oxytocin. This same oxytocin, which is necessary for childbirth or necessary for uterine contraction, will affect on the muscles of mammary gland, making these muscles of mammary gland to contract, as a result of which, when the muscles of mammary gland start contracting, the milk is secreted or released. So remember this, production of milk or generation of milk will be under influence of prolactin, but release of milk or secretion of milk will be under influence of hormone oxytocin. Okay, so these two things are very important and different. Milk production is different and milk secretion is different. Okay, this entire mechanism may take around 45 minutes from childbirth, मतलब expulsion phase से आगे 45 minutes to 1 hour, or some cases in some females it may be delayed also, but it will be surely there. Okay, the milk which is given in the initial 4 to 5 days will be called as colostrum. Remember this word. This milk will be extra thick. It will be a bit yellowish colored. It is bitter to taste and rich in antibodies, means proteins, rich in proteins and having less amount of carbohydrates in it. So colostrum के properties मैंने बताया. Colostrum का मतलब, अगर आप लोगों को मालूम होगा कि गाय भैंस बच्चा पैदा करने के बाद जो पहला दूध आता है उनको, गाय भैंस को, इसको चीक कहते हैं और इस चीक से हम लोग खरवस बनाते हैं. सो इट इज अ प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ मैमल्स. हम लोग भी मैमल्स ही है. तो जब ह्यूमन को बच्चा होगा तो फीमेल विल स्टार्ट गिविंग मिल्क विच विल बी रिच इन एंटीबॉडीज. ओके, तो मैंने क्या कहा, कोलेस्ट्रॉम के प्रॉपर्टीज. कोलेस्ट्रॉम इज फर्स्ट मिल्क. ओके, क्या होता है फर्स्ट मिल्क? मिल्क विच इज गिवन और मिल्क विच इज सेक्रेटेड बाय मैमरी ग्लैंड्स फॉर 4 to 5 days immediately after childbirth is called as first milk or colostrum. उसके प्रॉपर्टीज मैंने बताया. इट इज थिक, it is having less amount of water, that's why it is thick, rich in proteins, yellowish colored, bitter to taste and less carbohydrates. But as the days pass, मतलब जैसे ही ज्यादा दिन हो जाएंगे बच्चा पैदा करने के बाद, तो कोलेस्ट्रॉल will change to normal milk. So its density will decrease, fluidity will increase, amount of water in it will increase, amount of proteins will decrease and carbohydrates will increase. Okay, so it will become like a normal milk. Fine. So colostrum is very important. कुछ लोगों में ऐसा मानना है कि this colostrum is a dirty milk, क्योंकि वो येलोइश कलर का है तो ये बच्चे को पिलाने नहीं देते, मतलब it is not given to the baby. But ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए. Colostrum is very very important for baby's health because colostrum is rich in proteins and there are antibodies available. Antibody IgA standing for immunoglobulin alpha. So alpha immunoglobulin are present in it. This alpha immunoglobulin will help the child to get protected from infections. क्योंकि बच्चा जो पैदा हुआ है उसकी इम्यूनिटी सिस्टम अभी तक डेवलप नहीं हुई है, उसको कुछ टाइम लगेगा. तो जब तक बच्चे का इम्यूनिटी सिस्टम डेवलप नहीं हुआ है तब तक मदर विल सप्लाई व्हाट वी कैन से एंटीबॉडीज, रेडीमेड एंटीबॉडीज टू द चाइल्ड so that the immunity of child will be maintained. That's an idea behind it. Okay, so ये दूध जरूर पिलाना चाहिए. It should not be discarded. Okay, so कुछ लोगों में ऐसे रिवाज है कि ये डिस्कार्ड किया जाता है. I told you the properties of it, so we should not go for it. Now, when the breastfeeding is starting, now another cycle will start, and this another cycle will play another we can say hormonal interplay so as to keep on secreting more and more milk, means production of more and more milk and releasing of more and more milk. Okay, after childbirth I told you around 45 minutes to 1 hour is required for release of milk. When milk is released, it should be given immediately to the baby. Okay, there are some camps held by doctors, gynecologists to deliver the information regarding child care and even breastfeeding. एक जमाना था कि ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग को लोग नकारते थे, मतलब फीमेल्स के मन में ऐसा था कि ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग करने से उनका थोड़ा फिगर खराब हो जाएगा, बट इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट. ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग इज वेरी एसेंशियल. ओके, सो व्हेन बेबी स्टार्ट सकिंग द निप्पल, nipple has got some receptor cells. These receptor cells are connected directly to pituitary gland. So when baby starts sucking milk from mammary glands, the signals are sent to pituitary gland so as to continue the release of hormone prolactin. देखो पहली बार मिल्क आ गया, बेबी ने दूध पीना शुरू कर दिया, ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग स्टार्ट हो गया. So the sucking action will give feedback mechanism to pituitary gland. Mammary glands chest में है, pituitary gland brain के नीचे है, तो उस pituitary gland को signal मिलेगा, as a result of which pituitary gland will start secreting prolactin hormone. More prolactin when secreted, breasts means mammary glands will start producing more milk, and enough milk will be there available for child. बच्चे के लिए enough milk होना चाहिए, ठीक है. Whenever baby wants milk, the milk should be given to baby. Okay, so this will continue another cycle. So more milk will be produced. More milk as it is produced, it will be fed to baby. Again, there will be sucking action, sucking of mammary nipple. When nipples are being sucked, once again a signal is given to pituitary gland, and more amount of milk will be produced. Okay, so this cycle will continue till there is a breastfeeding going on. Okay, so just try to understand this particular cycle. क्या हो रहा है इस cycle के अंदर? That we need to understand. So initial will be given. ऐसा कहते कि माँ बच्चे का रोना सुन के मम्मी को दूध आता है, ऐसे कहने का रिवाज है. अभी ये थोड़ा सा लॉजिकल भी है और थोड़ा सा इलॉजिकल भी है. लॉजिकल क्यों है? बिकॉज बेबी की तरफ मम्मी का प्यार उमड़ आता है बहुत. ओके, and that will make mother's body to release the milk. Okay, so इसके लिए एक कहावत है कि बच्चे का रोना सुन के मम्मी को दूध आता है या माँ को दूध आता है. But actually speaking, what is the logic behind it? Scientific logic is the same hormone, oxytocin, which is carrying out contraction of uterus so as to expel the baby's body out. जब बच्चे का बॉडी मम्मी के बॉडी से बाहर आएगा तो बच्चा रोएगा, तो same hormone, oxytocin, will play important role on mammary glands to contract. Okay, तो ये logic उसके पीछे है. So remember what happens. This is higher brain centers available. Brain centers यहाँ पे दो brain centers होंगे, paraventricular and supraoptic centers. They are giving hormone. That hormone is oxytocin hormone. Okay, this hormones will be responsible for giving prolactin in the lateral course. So oxytocin will be available. Oxytocin will be given. Oxytocin will be affecting on mammary glands, as a result of which milk secretion will start. Smooth muscles of mammary glands will contract as to release the milk. Milk will be ejected, and that ejected milk will be given to baby. So baby will start breastfeeding. Whenever there is a breastfeeding, see here, there is another what we can say response given. So sucking action of baby is important. This sucking action of baby is giving a mechanoreceptor response. There are mechanoreceptors. Mechano मतलब क्या? Mechanical मतलब pressure को detect कर सकते हैं. Sucking is a pressure kind of, we can say. So mechanoreceptors present in the nipple of mammary gland, they will give a feedback mechanism to the pituitary gland, as a result of which more amount of prolactin will be given. Okay, prolactin initiating hormone will be given. This hormone will affect on pituitary gland, as a result of which prolactin will be secreted. Prolactin will be increased, and increased level of prolactin will once again affect on mammary gland to secrete more milk or produce more milk, and the cycle will go on. When the breastfeeding is stopped, उल्टा सिग्नल भी देख लेते हैं. अभी क्या होगा? ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग स्टॉप हो गया, कभी ना कभी तो करना पड़ता है. अभी कितने दिन तक ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग करना चाहिए is a questionable thing. Some suggest that it should be done up to 1 month, 1.5 months, 2 months, 3 months. Okay, कोई कोई तो 1 साल तक भी कर सकते हैं. Depends. Okay, so but at least up to 1.5 to 3 months the breastfeeding should be continued. आप लोग बोलोगे कि अभी आजकल तो फीमेल्स भी वर्किंग है, काम पे जाना पड़ता है, तो क्या करें? It is possible that the milk can be drawn from mammary glands, kept in a clean containers, and should be given later on to the baby. Okay, इसको फ्रीज में स्टोर करके रख सकते हैं, and whenever baby wants, तो घर में जो बेबी को केयर लेने वाले लोग हैं, they should get the milk out, thaw it. Thaw मतलब उसको नॉर्मल टेम्परेचर पे लाने देना है, उसको उबालना नहीं है, and the same milk will be fed to the baby with the help of spoon. This can be done. Okay, so there are ways out. मतलब ये सब gynecologist जो है कैंप्स लेते हैं उसमें ये सब बताया जाता है. So as far as possible, one should prolong maximally the breastfeeding. Okay, अभी reverse mechanism क्या होगा? Whenever the breastfeeding is stopped, either direct breastfeeding or maybe indirect breastfeeding, what will happen? The mechanoreceptors will not get activated. These mechanoreceptors will not send message to pituitary gland, as a result of which the hypothalamus centers will not receive the signals. So they will start secreting prolactin inhibiting hormone. This prolactin inhibiting hormone will really decrease the amount of prolactin. As prolactin is decreased, the amount of milk that is produced in mammary glands will decrease. Okay, so gradually the milk will decrease. If there is no continuation of sucking of mammary glands, then milk production will stop at a particular time. Okay, and so the cycle is over. The baby will become independent feeder. मतलब baby को बाहर का खाना उस वक्त चल सकता है. So this is a general characteristic feature, lactation mechanism. Okay, so remember this very well. Abhi, after consisting of lactation or understanding lactation, we have to understand some points regarding reproductive health. So what is reproductive health? Actually, it is emotional, behavioral, social, and physical well-being of an individual is considered as reproductive. तो सभी जगह से फिजिकली नॉर्मल होना चाहिए, सोशली नॉर्मल होना चाहिए, बिहेवियरली नॉर्मल होना चाहिए, एंड इमोशनली ऑल्सो नॉर्मल होना चाहिए. ओके, reproductive healthy organisms will just go through it. Okay, it will have physical and functionally normal reproductive organs. Organs develop होने चाहिए properly. Normal emotion, normal behavior will be important so as to interact among the people. Okay, and even with society. Specifically husband wife के बीच में थोड़ा सा normal behavior होना चाहिए, because if they are happy, the child also will become happy. Okay, मतलब it depends on emotions of parents at the time of conception, at the time of intercourse. अगर माँ बाप हैप्पी नहीं है तो होने वाला बच्चा भी हैप्पी नहीं हो सकता है. आप लोगों ने शायद महाभारत की कहानी सुनी होगी कि कैसे तीनों धृतराष्ट्र, देन पंडु और तीसरा कौन था, विदुर, ये तीनों का बर्थ कैसे हुआ. they were all born to महर्षि व्यास. ओके, और महर्षि व्यास को कहा गया था कि तीनों जो रानियां हैं, क्वींस है, उनको जाके ये फर्टिलाइज करे. ओके, एक रानी थी वो डर गई, उन्होंने आंखें बंद कर ली, तो ये धृतराष्ट्र अंधे पैदा हो गए. दूसरा जो था, दूसरी रानी जो है वो डर गई और डर के मारे वो थोड़ी फीकी पड़ गई. दैट्स हाउ पंडु राजा वाज बोर्न. ओके, ही वाज अल्बाइनो और ही वाज हैविंग लेस हेमोग्लोबिन. ओके, सो दैट्स व्हाट वी कैन से. फाइन. और तीसरी जो थी वो दासी. ये तीन रानियां थी एक्चुअली, अंबा, अंबिका और अंबालिका. स्टोरी कहने का रीजन क्या है? आई जस्ट वांटेड टू टेल यू दैट द एनवायरनमेंट at the time of conception should be healthy. The husband and wife should be all normal and must have pleasant emotions in their mind. तभी बच्चे का जो इमोशंस है वो थोड़ा अच्छा पैदा होगा. सी, इट प्लेज इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. हम लोग ऐसा नहीं कहते कि महाभारत में जो कहा है, महाभारत में तो ये सच कहा है. दूसरी कहानी महाभारत की पता होगी आपको, अभिमन्यु की. ठीक है, सुभद्रा जो कृष्ण भगवान की बहन थी और वाइफ थी अर्जुन की. तो भगवान श्री कृष्ण अर्जुन को और उनके भाइयों को बता रहे थे कि चक्रव्यूह को कैसे बनाया जाए और उसको कैसे भेद किया जाए. सुभद्रा भी वहां पे बैठी थी उस वक्त. शी वॉज कैरिंग अ बेबी, दैट वॉज अभिमन्यु ऑफ कोर्स, एंड द बेबी वॉज ऑल्सो लिसनिंग, ऐसे कहा गया है. और आधे में ही मदर को, मतलब सुभद्रा को नींद आ गई, तो बच्चा भी सो गया. दैट्स हाउ ओनली हाफ पार्ट ही हर्ड. चक्रव्यूह को भेद के अंदर कैसे घुसना है, दैट ही हर्ड. सो दैट अभिमन्यु वाज नोइंग, एंड द लैटर पार्ट, हाउ टू कम आउट, दैट ही वाज नॉट नोइंग. आप लोग बोलोगे ये सब झूठ है, बट nowadays also certain experiments have been made, and those experiments say that yes, this is all true. So the emotional background or emotional setting of parents एट द टाइम ऑफ कंसेप्शन आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, इसीलिए तो हनीमून पे जाते हैं. ठीक है, जोक्स अपार्ट, बट रिमेंबर यू आर गोइंग टू बी वुड बी पेरेंट्स, सो व्हेनेवर यू गेट मैरिड बिफोर कंसेप्शन, try to understand each other. Husband and wife should understand each other. They should maintain good healthy relationship so as to produce the next generation most sound, mentally sound. आफ्टर कंसेप्शन बेबी जब होगा, प्रेगनेंसी कंफर्म होगी, तो अच्छी अच्छी चीजें पढ़ के या अच्छी अच्छी चीजें उसको सुनानी चाहिए, बिकॉज द सेंसर्स ऑफ सेंस ऑर्गन्स ऑफ चाइल्ड आर ऑन एंड चाइल्ड कैन अंडरस्टैंड द थिंग्स. ओके, तो ये सब आजकल इसी इसी को आजकल गर्भ संस्कार कहते हैं. तो बहुत जगह पे ये गर्भ संस्कार के क्लासेस भी चलते हैं. प्रेग्नेंट वुमन शुड अटेंड दिस. देखो आजकल थोड़ा सा जमाना बदल गया है. वी डोंट हैव गॉट जॉइंट फैमिलीज, वी हैव गॉट सेल्युलर फैमिलीज. पहले क्या होता था, फैमिली बड़ी होती थी, घर की जो बड़ी बुजुर्ग औरतें होती है, मे बी सास हो या कोई और बड़ी बुजुर्ग औरतें होगी, वो सब ये प्रेग्नेंट वुमन को बताते थे. आजकल ये सब नहीं हो रहा है, एंड दैट्स व्हाई वन हैज टू जॉइन द कैंप्स और मे बी द क्लासेस और व्हाट एवर इट इज. सो ये सब कुछ करना जरूरी बनता है ताकि जो बच्चा है वो अच्छा बने, healthy बने. It should become, the child should become in future of course, should become a healthy sound personality. तो बच्चे की पर्सनालिटी अच्छी बनने के लिए ड्यूरिंग द एंटायर कोर्स ऑफ प्रेगनेंसी द मदर ऑल्सो शुड रिमेन हैप्पी. हैप्पी का मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि वाइफ ने कहा मुझे अभी का अभी शॉपिंग को लेके चलो, हस्बैंड ने कहा नहीं तो ये दुखी हो गई. दैट इज नॉट कॉल्ड एज हैप्पीनेस. ओके, सो योर विश शुड बी इंपॉर्टेंट. क्या विश है, दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. फाइन. So again the jokes apart, but this is what is essential. तो reproductive health में सिर्फ maintenance of organs नहीं चलता है. We have to keep many other things in mind. It is also aiming to attain total reproductive health of people. मतलब सभी लोगों के लिए जो reproductive group में आते हैं. Reproductive group individuals you might be knowing, you must have studied demography. Demography मतलब study of population. वहाँ पे आप लोगों ने study किया होगा कि our population is divided into 3 groups. उसमें फर्स्ट ग्रुप होता है इमेच्योर ग्रुप, प्री रिप्रोडक्टिव ग्रुप. दूसरा ग्रुप होता है रिप्रोडक्टिव ग्रुप और तीसरा होता है पोस्ट रिप्रोडक्टिव. सो वी आर फोकसिंग ऑन दिस रिप्रोडक्टिव ग्रुप इंडिविजुअल्स फ्रॉम एज 14 टिल 45 और 50. दीज आर रिप्रोडक्टिव ग्रुप इंडिविजुअल्स. तो उनके रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन्स, उनके रिप्रोडक्टिव नीड्स, उसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा ध्यान देना बहुत जरूरी बनता है. करंटली इन ऑपरेशन अंडर रिप्रोडक्टिव एंड चाइल्ड हेल्थ केयर, रिप्रोडक्टिव चाइल्ड हेल्थ केयर programs are being run by government. अपने यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा अभी कम है, बट फॉरेन कंट्रीज में ये बहुत ज्यादा इसका मामला चल रहा है. ओके, सो गोल्स ऑफ आरसीएच क्या करना चाहता है, मतलब क्या करना चाहिए? टू क्रिएट अवेयरनेस अमंग पीपल रिलेटेड टू रिप्रोडक्शन. रिप्रोडक्टिव ग्रुप इंडिविजुअल के ऊपर थोड़ा सा अवेयरनेस, रिप्रोडक्शन के बारे में पूरा नॉलेज होना जरूरी बनता है. प्रोवाइड्स और प्रोवाइडिंग फैसिलिटीज टू पीपल टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड बिल्ट अप द रिप्रोडक्टिव हेल्थ. नॉलेज देना जरूरी बनता है. बहुत सारे बार तो नॉलेज ही नहीं होता है. सिंपल नॉलेज पीपल डोंट हैव टू चेंज द क्लोथ्स. इनर्स बदलने चाहिए बारंबार, है ना. सो वन शुड वेयर क्लोथ, क्लीन क्लोथ्स. प्रॉपर केयर इज टू बी टेकन ड्यूरिंग मेंस्ट्रुएशन एंड ऑल दैट. इवन इन केस ऑफ मेल्स, एज आई हैड टोल्ड यू अर्लियर, मेल्स शुड नॉट वेयर द टाइट क्लोथिंग, tight inners continuously. The reason I told you, such all information, cleanliness of the organs so as to avoid the diseases. There are certain diseases which are called as sexually transmitted diseases, STDs. तो उसको अवॉइड करने के लिए भी कुछ अपने को मैकेनिज्म करना पड़ेगा. That all comes under reproductive health. Okay, so provide support for building up of reproductive health for healthy society. Bring about a change mainly in 3 critical health indicators. First is reducing total infertility rate. ये पहला गोल है उसका. इनफर्टिलिटी का मतलब नॉन प्रोडक्शन ऑफ बेबीज, तो उसको थोड़ा सा कम करना है. देन रिड्यूसिंग इन्फेंट मोर्टेलिटी रेट. अपने यहाँ पे इन्फेंट मोर्टेलिटी, नाउ व्हाट इज इन्फेंट? 1 साल तक का जो बच्चा है उसको इन्फेंट कहा जाता है. और बच्चा पैदा होने के बाद 1 साल तक अगर बच्चा मरेगा तो उसको कहेंगे इन्फेंट मोर्टेलिटी. इन अवर कंट्री इंडिया, द रेट ऑफ इन्फेंट मोर्टेलिटी भारत में बहुत ज्यादा है, उसको कम करना चाहिए. ओके, इट इज अप टू 14%. 1000 बच्चों में से 14 बच्चे मर जाते हैं 1 साल के होते होते. देयर आर मेनी रीजंस लाइक माल न्यूट्रिशन, इग्नोरेंस, है ना, रिपीटेटिव चाइल्ड बर्थ्स, बहुत बार बार बच्चे पैदा होते हैं, तो females are weak. Females are not nutrited properly, so their uterus is not weak to give birth to healthy babies. That may be the reason. So that is an idea behind it. Then reducing maternal mortality rate due to same reasons: repetitive births, weak uh, weakness in the body, general weakness of reproductive organs. The mothers also die due to malnutrition, due to over exercise. So ये सब reasons है. So achieving these goals is very important, and there are many ways to achieve these goals. What are the what are the ways? कैसे किया जाएगा सब? So first is introduction of sex education in schools. That is the first thing. Then provide correct information regarding the sex individuals, regarding the sex or regarding the sexual activities at a young age, at young individuals. Okay. तो समय पे उनको नॉलेज मिलना चाहिए. ओके. हेल्प इन डिस्करेजिंग बिलीफ इन माइट्स. बहुत सारे लोग कुछ भी मनगढ़ंत कहानियां बता सकते हैं, तो ये बंद करने चाहिए. दिस विल क्लियर मिसकंसेप्ट्स अबाउट द सेक्स और सेक्स रिलेटेड एस्पेक्ट्स. ओके. गेटिंग इट. पुराने जमाने में लोग ऐसा समझते कि आंखों में आंखें डालने से बच्चा पैदा होता है, किसिंग करने से बच्चा पैदा होता है. You must be knowing that now, that much enough wise you are, that you should know that the sexual contact is must for baby to be produced. Okay, so that is an idea. Then provide proper information about the safe and hygienic sexual practices. Okay, sexual practices are essential. जैसे बाकी के needs है अपने body की, वैसे sexual contact at right time is also need, but it should be safe and proper, hygienic, and with proper what we can say, consent of both partners. Okay, इसीलिए उसको बहुत संस्कृत, अच्छा संस्कृत वर्ड है समभोग, मतलब समभोग, to enjoy the feelings in equality. That is the actual meaning. कंसेप्शन के लिए संस्कृत वर्ड जो है मैंने अभी आपको बताया. ठीक है. It is not a thing to snatch away. It should be a thing to enjoy with pleasure with a partner, sexual partner, of course, husband and wife. Fine. Okay. Will help to avoid transmission of sexually transmittable diseases. Okay. Sexually transmittable diseases जैसे कि गोनोरिया है, या we can say एड्स है, हाँ, syphilis है. ये diseases transmit होते हैं due to sexual contact. So if one partner is having these diseases, they should take proper care. Okay. Help overcome problems related to adolescence. Adolescence में बच्चों को बहुत सारे problems होते हैं. They don't understand what is happening to their bodies because hormonal levels are fluctuating and drastic changes are there taking place in the adolescent individuals, exactly of the level of your group, age group, we can say teenagers from 13 to 19. Basically these problems are there, so they should be groomed properly. अच्छी तरह से उनका केयर लेना पड़ेगा. दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. प्रोवाइड प्रॉपर इंफॉर्मेशन रिगार्डिंग द रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन्स. प्राइवेट पार्ट्स के लिए बराबर नॉलेज देना जरूरी है. अपने यहाँ पे बताया जाता है कि प्राइवेट पार्ट शुड नॉट बी टच्ड अगेन एंड अगेन, बट आई शुड से दे शुड बी गिवन प्रॉपर नॉलेज. द चिल्ड्रन शुड बी गिवन प्रॉपर नॉलेज कि भाई क्यों नहीं करना चाहिए. देयर मे बी इन्फेक्शन, सो कीपिंग क्लीनलीनेस इज इंपॉर्टेंट. जैसे अपना सर है, हाथ है, पैर है, वैसे प्राइवेट पार्ट्स है, अपने बॉडी के ऑर्गन्स ही है. सो दे शुड बी मेंटेन वेरी क्लीन एंड नीट. ओके. समटाइम्स मेकिंग यूज ऑफ ऑडियो विजुअल मीडिया और सर्टन प्रिंटिंग मटेरियल ऑल्सो मेड बी अवेलेबल. जब आपके स्कूल्स में आपने देखा होगा कि कोई एनजीओज आते हैं वहाँ पे, या कुछ इंस्टीट्यूट्स वहाँ पे आते हैं और आपको सेक्स के बारे में थोड़ा सा एजुकेशन, एडिशनल एजुकेशन दिया होगा, कुछ चीजें आपके सामने डिस्प्ले की होगी. दैट इज ऑल पॉसिबल. ओके. सो गवर्नमेंट एंड एनजीओज, एनजीओ मीन्स क्या होता है? non-government organizations. They are working together or maybe working separately so as to give all this sex-related information, awareness amongst the people. Okay. खास करके छोटे बच्चे मतलब young individuals. Okay. 8th 9th से लेके college going boys तक, girls तक, ये सब करना जरूरी बनता है. Educating younger generation about the birth control measures is very important. Okay. Parental and postnatal केयर ऑफ वुमन एंड चाइल्ड. देखो क्या क्या एस्पेक्ट्स है इसके. बर्थ कंट्रोल के बारे में भी उनको सिखाना होगा, बिकॉज द पॉपुलेशन ऑफ वर्ल्ड इज इंक्रीजिंग ड्रास्टिकली। एंड प्रीनेटल एंड पोस्टनेटल पेरेंटल केयर, इसको हम लोग टुगेदर कह सकते हैं। मतलब बच्चा जब यूट्रस में बढ़ रहा है तभी भी थोड़ा सा केयर लेना जरूरी बनता है, और बच्चा पैदा होने के बाद भी उसका केयर लेना पड़ेगा। नॉट ओनली केयर ऑफ चाइल्ड बट केयर ऑफ वुमन also is very important, pregnant woman or maybe mother. Okay, importance of breastfeeding should be taught to the pregnant woman. Developing awareness about the uncontrolled population and growth. Then sex abuse and sex related crimes and preventive measures. Okay, sex is a want, like just other wants are there, but a safe sexual contacts are essential, that should be bombarded. That's why I made use of a statement that it is not a thing. Enjoying sex is not a thing to snatch away, but to enjoy with the consent of our sexual partner. ठीक है, आजकल आप लोग बहुत सुनते होंगे रेप सीन्स एंड ऑल. It is not a topic of discussion over here right now, but you must be knowing, you must be aware of. So this is abuse of sex. That should not be done. That should be either minimized or should be avoided. Okay, so that is very important. सेक्स रिलेटेड क्राइम्स भी होते हैं कभी कभी, है ना. सो आजकल लॉज भी बने हुए हैं कुछ, जैसे कि पॉस्को लॉ बना हुआ है और बहुत सारे लॉज बने हुए हैं. ओके, टचिंग द बॉडी ऑफ ईच अदर अननेसेसरीली इवन मे बी एक्टिंग एज अ क्राइम. ओके, उसका इंटेंशन, अब नहीं तो डॉक्टर्स को बोलेंगे डॉक्टर ने मेरे पार्ट बॉडी पार्ट्स को टच किया, यू विल बी ब्रॉट अंडर द पॉस्को लॉ. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. क्या इंटेंशन था, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. हाँ, अभी बहुत जगह पे आप लोगों ने देखा कि फ्लड आया हुआ है, कोई अगर फीमेल उसमें फंसी हुई तो उसको बाहर निकलने के लिए हाथ पकड़ के उसको खींचा. सो इट्स नॉट अ क्राइम एक्चुअली, इट वाज डन टू सेव द लाइफ. बट कोई अगर ये पर्पसली कर रहा है तो दैट विल बी क्राइम. ओके, generally females have got that particular sense to understand the intentional and non-intentional touches. Okay, I need not say anything. Fine. Then awareing people about the statutory ban on amniocentesis for sex determination. अपने देश में दो चीजों को बैन कर दिया है. One is amniocentesis and second is female infanticidism. Okay, मतलब अगर पाएंगे कि जो बढ़ने वाला बच्चा फीमेल बेबी है तो उसको निकाल देना, उसका एबॉर्शन करना, इसको क्या कहते हैं, फीमेल इन्फेंटिसिडिज्म. ये हम लोग बाद में डिस्कस करने वाले, तो हम लोग अभी यहाँ पे नहीं डिस्कस करेंगे इसको. जस्ट आई हैव मेड मेंशन, डिस्कशन उसका बाद में होने वाला है अलग से. अवेयरिंग पीपल अबाउट द चाइल्ड इम्यूनाइजेशन प्रोग्राम्स. पैदा होते ही उसको इम्यूनाइज करना चाहिए, उसको वैक्सीनेशन करना चाहिए. ओके, नॉट ओनली कोरोना वैक्सीन बट देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ वैक्सीन्स टू बी गिवन टू चाइल्ड. और एक वैक्सीनेशन प्रोग्राम ही दिया जाता है हॉस्पिटल्स में से. जब बच्चा पैदा होगा तो मदर्स को बुला के, उनको या उनके रिलेटिव्स को बुला के एक प्रोग्राम बनाया है गवर्नमेंट ने और हेल्थ केयर सेंटर्स ने. तो ये उसको दिया जाता है कि बर्थ के बाद 1 महीने में कौन सा वैक्सीन देना चाहिए, 2 महीने के बाद कौन सा वैक्सीन देना चाहिए, 3 महीने के बाद कौन सा वैक्सीन देना चाहिए, सो दैट द बेबीज विल बी इम्यूनाइज्ड. ओके, उनमें इम्यूनिटी तैयार हो, अच्छी तरह की इम्यूनिटी तैयार हो, उसके लिए ये करना बहुत जरूरी बनता है. एंड वन मोर पॉइंट इज इंपॉर्टेंट हियर, यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड द education should be given to married couples to reduce the mortality rate of younger ones and maternal mortality rate. ठीक है, तो अच्छा खाना, अच्छा सेक्स एंजॉय करना और 2 बच्चों के बीच में सेफ डिस्टेंस रखना, ये 3 चीजें जरूरी है. You must have seen or you must have heard many different types of slogans which are made for this. Okay, so government is making lots and lots of tries to maintain the reproductive health and they are trying to go for it. Okay, now we have to consider the birth control devices and birth control. Okay, we'll continue this 10 मिनट तक और कंटिन्यू करते हैं एंड देन विल स्टॉप बिकॉज वी हैव अनदर लेक्चर. ओके, नाउ व्हाट इज बर्थ कंट्रोल, उसका तो बैकग्राउंड देख लेते हैं, बाद में स्टॉप करेंगे. पॉपुलेशन इज इंक्रीजिंग, पॉपुलेशन ऑफ वर्ल्ड इज इंक्रीजिंग, दैट आई टोल्ड यू जस्ट नाउ. नाउ व्हाई पॉपुलेशन इज इंक्रीजिंग एंड व्हाट द एस्पेक्ट्स आर. पॉपुलेशन ऑफ वर्ल्ड इज 7 billion and we Indians are 1.3 billion of it. So 1/6 population of world is Indian population. 1/6 population of world is Chinese population and 1/3 population is Pakistani's population. So India, China, Pakistan, तीनों मिलके just imagine how many they will be having. 2.5 by 6 will be the 3 countries together. Okay. Now, at the time of independence, our population was just around 30 to 35 crore. It has started increasing. In the year, it crossed a billion mark. And now, current population is 1.35 billion. Still increasing. Okay. Continuously increasing. ऐसे कहते हैं कि हर एक सेकंड में एक बच्चा पैदा होता है. Fine. So remember this aspects very well. This sentence is very important. Doubling time of population is around 35 years, 30 to 35 years. What is doubling time? Population gets doubled. So the time required for population to get doubled will be called as doubling time. अभी वर्ल्ड पॉपुलेशन 7 बिलियन है, तो और 30 सालों के बाद, 35 सालों के बाद ये 14 बिलियन होगा, और 30 सालों के बाद ये 28 बिलियन होगा, 28 बिलियन it will become, and then afterwards one more slot of, we can say, 35 years, it will become 56 billion. Okay, just 105 years will be required for world population to become 50 billion plus. Okay, 50 billion plus होने के लिए बहुत कम समय है अपने पास. Now Earth has got Earth's carrying capacity of 50 billion. Means on Earth only 50 billion people can survive at a time safely, even though it is very huge number. 7 billion होने के बाद भी अपने को इतने सारे troubles है. There are many problems. So what will happen after it will become so expanded? Population will become so expanded. So population of Earth when will become more than 50 billion, it will start population crash. Population crash मतलब लोग झगड़ेंगे एक दूसरे के लिए, दूसरे के साथ. There will be a war for water. There will be war for natural resources, like even for food. Okay, so one has to be very careful. By that time, the pollution levels also would have increased. 100 साल के बाद, by 2121, this all event is going to happen. Okay, शायद मैं नहीं रहूंगा, आप लोग भी शायद नहीं रहोगे. I don't know. If you live long, best of luck to you. But still, अपनी next generation जो है वो शायद इसको देखेगी, face करेगी, and there will be many crises. To avoid or to reduce the population crisis, we need to control population. Population control बहुत बहुत जरूरी है. अगर हम लोग population control नहीं करेंगे worldwide, not only India, not particular community, not particular race, not particular caste, not particular creed, it should be taken up by all people in the world. I am repeating again, it should be taken up by all people in the world. So population can be achieved by using different birth control methods. Population control करने के लिए birth control methods available है. None of the religions allows this. किसी भी धर्म, कोई भी धर्म population control को allow नहीं करता है, babies को मारना allow नहीं करता है. Okay, but we are living in scientific world. We should know there are means available, safe methods available. So इसको contraceptive methods कहा जाता है. These methods can be used. There are many physical methods. There are many mechanical methods. One can make use of these methods so as to check unwanted babies. जैसे कि कहा गया है, छोटा परिवार सुखी परिवार, हम दो हमारे दो, है ना. 2 बच्चे रहेंगे तो अच्छा उनको पढ़ाई दे सकते हैं, अच्छा खाना दे सकते हैं, अच्छा कपड़ा दे सकते हैं, मेडिसिन अच्छा दे सकते हैं. So we take proper care of the children. Okay, and that's why if the family size is small, they can live normal, healthy life. And that's why birth control is essential. Birth can be controlled, or birth rate can be controlled, making use of certain birth control devices. Okay, and those birth control devices are called as contraceptive devices or contraceptives. Methods of birth control are important. There are 2 methods of birth control. One method is called as educational method. What is educational method? Education is given to the individuals of your age. Education matlab not normal education. Sex education is also important over here. Sex education is prime importance, so that they will listen to this they will understand the effects of increasing population, and in future they will start controlling the population. So this educational method includes providing education of sex education type. So देखो आप कॉलेजेस में या तो आप साइंस में हो, कॉमर्स में हो, आर्ट्स में हो, कहीं भी हो, तो ये रिप्रोडक्शन का चैप्टर कहीं ना कहीं तो आपको देख मिलेगा ही. साइंस के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए तो बायोलॉजी में रख दिया है, बट फॉर अदर्स देयर आर सम स्पेशल सब्जेक्ट्स where this topic is taught. Okay, so this method is slow because it is educational method. It is not going to work immediately. Okay, ये बच्चे जो शिक्षा ले रहे हैं, पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं, ये immediately तो कुछ ये करने वाले नहीं है. And that's how whenever they will get eligible for marriage, they will get married, and whenever they will get eligible to give birth to babies, they will think wisely and will give birth to babies. Okay, that's why it is indirect method, because there is no any medical help used in this method. कौन से एस्पेक्ट्स है इसके? एजुकेशनल मेथड में क्या क्या इंक्लूडेड है? वन इज प्रोपोगंडा, मेकिंग प्रोपोगंडा ऑफ स्मॉल फैमिलीज और बर्थ कंट्रोल. आवर गवर्नमेंट इज लिटरली trying a lot to do this. Okay, pamphlets are being published or delivered. Then बहुत सारे जगह पे स्लोगन्स आपको देखने को मिलेंगे. गवर्नमेंट इज मेकिंग एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स related to birth control, and they're displayed on television, private channels, in the theaters. So all this is called as propaganda. So it is a kind of advertisement. Okay, young individuals and we can say individuals belonging to this age group, reproductive age group, are continuously being bombarded by these advertisements so that they will think and start controlling population. It is essential. Okay, monetary help. जो इंडिविजुअल्स बर्थ कंट्रोल सर्जरीज करके लेते हैं, उनको पैसा दिया जाता है. ओके, इवन फंड्स आर रेज्ड फ्रॉम वर्ल्ड बैंक, और सम रिच कंट्रीज विल गिव फंड्स टू डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज लाइक इंडिया टू रन बर्थ कंट्रोल प्रोग्राम्स. अभी बर्थ कंट्रोल प्रोग्राम्स का मतलब क्या होता है? सप्लाई ऑफ बर्थ कंट्रोल डिवाइसेस, पिल्स, मेडिकल हेल्थ, ये सब कुछ प्रोवाइड करना चाहिए, तो उसके लिए पैसा चाहिए. ये पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? So funds are raised. Okay, then education. As I told you, sex education also is important. Marriage age. Child marriage is being completely banned in our country. That you must be knowing. So marriage age was set. When child marriage was banned, marriage age was set. It was earlier 18 years for female and 21 years to males. But nowadays, sorry, ये अभी का मैंने बताया. Earlier it was 18 years for males and 15 years for females. उसको बढ़ा के अभी इतना कर दिया है, 18 years must be minimum marriage age for female, 21 years for male. और आजकल तो ऐसे हो गया कि 21 years for both. Why there is bar for marriage age? जैसे ही प्यूबर्टी होता है तभी तुरंत शादी कर देते थे पहले फीमेल्स की, गर्ल्स की. तो ये नहीं होना चाहिए, बिकॉज इमीडिएटली आफ्टर द प्यूबर्टी द रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन्स आर नॉट रेडी टू बेयर द लोड ऑफ प्रेगनेंसी. सिस्टम तो चालू हो गया, प्यूबर्टी आ गया, तो सेक्सुअल कांटेक्ट होगा तो बेबी तो होगा, लेकिन यूटेरस अभी तक प्रॉपर्ली डेवलप नहीं है. सेक्स ऑर्गन्स आर नॉट प्रॉपर्ली डेवलप्ड, so that used to take a heavy toll of females, and that's why female mortality rate was very high, specifically during pregnancy. So due to increase in marriages, by the time they become of 18 years of age, females specifically, the reproductive organs are very well developed, they are well nourished, and now the uterus of such female is ready to take a load of pregnancy, and that's how marriage is been barred मतलब उसका एक age declare कर दिया है. Abortions have been made legal. पुराने जमाने में अबॉर्शंस लीगल नहीं थे, मतलब उसके लिए कंसेंट देना जरूरी था. अबॉर्शन क्यों कर रहे हो? बट आजकल लॉ में थोड़ा सा बदलाव लाया है. इफ अ फीमेल प्रेग्नेंट वुमन गोज टू एनी हेल्थ सेंटर एंड आस्क्स फॉर अबॉर्शन विदाउट नोइंग द सेक्स ऑफ ए चाइल्ड, देन शी इज अलाउड अंडर द क्लॉज ऑफ बर्थ कंट्रोल और एज अ बर्थ कंट्रोल डिवाइस और बर्थ कंट्रोल मैकेनिज्म. ओके, तो बाकी किसी का कंसेंट जरूरी नहीं है, सिर्फ फीमेल का कंसेंट चलेगा. Distribution of contraceptive devices, not only distribution but making available and distribution, and that too also at a low cost or free cost, है ना. अगर आप contraceptive devices बनाओगे और उसको बहुत महंगा रखोगे, कोई नहीं लेने वाला. ओके, इसीलिए कभी कभी तो गवर्नमेंट बर्थ कंट्रोल डिवाइसेस को फ्रीली बांटती है हेल्थ सेंटर्स में, गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल्स, म्यूनिसिपैलिटी हॉस्पिटल्स, गवर्नमेंट नर्सिंग स्टेशंस, यहाँ पे एडवाइस, बर्थ कंट्रोल डिवाइसेस, इवन सर्जरीज, एवरीथिंग इज अवेलेबल फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट. ओके, सो दैट इज वन मोर एस्पेक्ट. फ्री है तो सब लोग जाएंगे और कुछ तो करने की कोशिश करेंगे. So treatments and advices are given free of cost. So these all we can say are the methods that is called as educational method. There is another method called as medical method. Medical method क्यों? Because medical care or medical help is taken to control the baby's birth, and that's why it is called as medical method. It is a fast method because it is for married couples and they can make use of the contraceptive devices to control the baby's birth. That's why it is also called as direct method or uh, fast method. Okay, there are different ways, and those different ways are as follows. We are going to consider natural rhythm and all. मेरे ख्याल से हम लोग यहाँ पे रुकते हैं. Okay, क्योंकि ये टॉपिक पूरा नहीं होगा. We'll start with birth control again next time. Okay, now you have got lecture, two important things before we stop.